Good day, students. Welcome to the first chemistry class for this academic section. And we are looking at the basic things you need to know so that you will know chemistry very well. Of which, if you don't know them, there's no how you can learn chemistry. And we are talking about the first 20 elements. I will tell you how the first 20 elements will make you know virtually everything in chemistry. That means if you are grounded very well, you know these elements and everything we are going to discuss today, you will be able to classify them, to know how they react, to know the group they belong, and what have you. So the first 20 elements, I have the atomic numbers here, the elements, name of the element, the symbol of the element, and then I'm going to guide you into how we will get the group, the nature, and its configuration. Okay, from here, everything, almost all the property of an element comes from its atomic number. So knowing the atomic number of an element is an advantage, a very huge advantage to a chemistry student. So hydrogen has an atomic number of 1. And the symbol of hydrogen is H. Wherever you see H, it is representing hydrogen. Now, how do we know the group it belongs? Now, elements have electrons which are arranged in the shells. And the number of shells an element we have is determined by the number of electrons the element have. And for hydrogen that has only 1 electron, the shape, the shell will be like this, and this is representing that 1 electron that hydrogen has. So this is how hydrogen is. And the number of electrons an element has in the outermost shell determines the group the element will be in the periodic table. So since hydrogen has only 1, here, it means that hydrogen is expected to be in group 1. And what is the nature of hydrogen? Every element that has 1 or 2 or 3 in the outermost shell, they are metals. Every element that has 1, 2 or 3 in the outermost shell, they are metals. Now, every element that has 4, 5, 6 and 7, they are non-metals. And every element that has 8 in the outermost shell, they are gases. Now, I am going to teach you something concerning helium. Now, every element has the first shell that must be filled with 2. 2 electrons is what we fill the first shell in an element. So, for helium that has atomic number of 2, this one is hydrogen, how hydrogen looks like. Now, this is how helium looks like. Because the atomic number is 2, see how it is. That means the first shell has been filled up with 2. For hydrogen, the first shell is not filled up because it has only 1. The atomic number is 1, meaning that it has only 1 electron. So this is helium now. And helium is expected to be in group 2, but it's not in group 2. Why? Because the shell is filled up. What fills the first shell is 2 electrons. And then the subsequent shell, as far as the first 20 elements are concerned, the subsequent shell are filled with 8. So since it is filled up, now, it means that helium is a gas. Helium is a gas. And it has the group now, we call it group 0, which is the same thing as group 8. Those ones that have 8 in outermost shell, we call them group 0. Alright, I want to use these 2 as the basis and then complete the other one. Now, for group of hydrogen is 1, while the group of helium is 0. The nature of hydrogen is that hydrogen is a metal. Remember I said anything that has 1, 2 or 3 in the outermost shell is a metal. But this one is not a metal. It's a gas. Why? because it doesn't have outermost shell. It has only one shell, and that one shell is filled up. This one has one shell, but the shell is not filled up. Remember I said that the first shell will be filled with 2. Since the shell is not filled up, that's why we said it has one element in the shell, one electron in the shell, and it belongs to group 1. But this one belongs to group 0 because it has 2, and that 2 has filled the first shell, as we said. So this is a gas. So the electronic configuration of this is 1. While the electronic configuration of this is 2. So we go to the next one, which is lithium, whose atomic number is 3. So lithium is like this. Remember we said the first shell must be filled with 2. That means this shell is filled up now. There comes another shell, since the first shell has been filled up with 2. And what will be there now is what? 3. So that you now have 1, 2, 3, representing the 3 electrons in the lithium atom. So for lithium now, lithium belongs to group 1. Why is it group 1? Because it has 1 electron in the outermost shell. What this means the group is the number of electrons it has in the outermost shell. So lithium belongs to group 1. And lithium is also a metal. Remember we said every element that has 1, 2, or 3 in the outermost shell, that they are metal, meaning that they will react and give out electron. We will come to that. So what is the electronic configuration of lithium now? Lithium, the electronic configuration of lithium is, the first shell now has what? 2. That means 2. And the second shell has 1. That means the electronic configuration is 2, 1. This 2 is for the first shell that fills it up, and the 1 here is for the second one. We go to beryllium. Beryllium is 4, and it looks like this. First shell filled up with 2. Then since it has 4, it means that the second shell has 2 at the outermost shell. And so beryllium belongs to group 2. It belongs to group 2, and since it belongs to group 2, it's a metal. Remember, every element that has 2, 1, 2, or 3 in the outermost shell is a metal, belongs to the metal group, as far as the first 20 elements that we are talking about is concerned. So what's the electronic configuration of beryllium now? The electronic configuration is 2 filling the first shell, and then 2 in the outermost shell. For boron, we have 5 electrons. And so look at how boron looks like. The first shell is filled with 2. So how many is remaining out of the 5 now? 3. So it means, so this is how boron looks like. And because it has 1, 2, 3, it means that it will be in group 3. Remember we said what determines the group is the number of electrons you have in the outermost shell. And then it is also a metal. Why? Because it has 1, 2, 3 electrons in the outermost shell. So it's a metal. Okay? Then the electronic configuration is what? 2, 3. 2 in the inner shell, and then 3 in the outer shell. For carbon, we have 6. And that 6 means that we have 2 filled up here. Then, okay. So see how it is. Okay. Meaning that we have 2 in the inner shell and 4 in the outermost shell. So it belongs to group 4 in the periodic table, because it has 1, 2, 3 4 elements in the outermost, electrons in the outermost shell. And it is a non-metal. Non-metal. Remember, it will be a metal if it is 1, 2, or 3. So since it is 4, it's a non-metal. And the configuration is 2, 4. We go to nitrogen. Nitrogen is N, and the atomic number is 7, meaning first shell filled with 2. This is the second shell. Second shell now has 5. So from here now, which group will it belong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It belongs to group 5. And it is a non-metal. Non-metal. And the configuration is 2, 5. 2 in the first and then 5 in the second. We have the next one, which is oxygen. And oxygen atomic number is 8, meaning first shell filled with 2, then the second shell has 2, 2, and 2. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the outermost shell, it belongs to group 6. And then it should be a non-metal, but oxygen is usually pairing up to become a gas. When it pairs up with itself, it forms a gas. But as it is now, it's an oxygen atom, oxygen element, which is a non-metal. So the configuration is 2, 6. We go to fluorine. Fluorine, F. So since the atomic number is 9, it means 1, 2, remaining 2, 4, 6, 7. So if you count all together, you have 7 plus 2, which is 9. And because of that, we say that it belongs to group 7. And since it belongs to group 7, it means that it is a non-metal. A non-metal. Okay, so, and the configuration is 2, 7. 2, 7. That's the configuration. Then we go to neon. Ne, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are the 10 electrons, 2 here and 8 outside. So it belongs to group 8. Remember I said anyone that has 8 in the outermost shell is called group 0. Group 8 is called either group 8 or group 0. But we mostly refer them to as group 0. So we write it as group 0. Why is it group 0? Because the shells are filled up. In the case of lithium, it has only one shell and the shell is filled up. That's why it is in group 0. And here also, this one has only has only 2 shells. And the 2 shells are all filled up. First shell filled with 2 and the second shell filled with 8, like I have said. So this means that this is a gas. And the configuration is 2, 8. Then here, we now have sodium, which is Na. And the atomic number of sodium is 11. And since it's 11, we draw how it will be. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Then the third shell, 11. Remember that I said that the first shell is filled with 2. Subsequent shells are filled with 8 as far as the first 20 element is concerned. And so, what is the group that sodium will be? In the outermost shell, how many electrons are there? Just 1. So, sodium is in group 1. And then sodium is also a metal. Because we say anyone that has 1, 2, or 3 in the outermost shell is a metal. And so what's the configuration of sodium? Watch. it will now be the first shell has 2, the second shell has 8, and the third shell has 1. So we have treated 1 to 11, and I will want you to use this format and complete 12 to 20, and I'm going to give you the elements, the atomic number of the elements, the name of the element and the symbol. Then you will complete the group, the nature, and the electronic configuration. Okay, having completed the first section, which is from 1 to 11, we have on the board from 12, atomic number 12, and I've listed the elements and their symbols. So I want you to follow the same format and get the group, the nature, and the configuration of the element. So do it, and as usual, submit your answer, and do well to ask questions when you are confused. Thank you. See you in the next chemistry class.